Welcome back to my channel, friends. This side Sonia here from Growing Craft, and today I'm going to do a decoupage plus mixed media project. This is going to be really interesting, and I have planned out so many things, and let's see how it works out. So now here what I have is in plain MDF base, and on this I'm going to do some really nice mixed media work and my decoupage work. Now to start with, I am going to have my white gesso. Now here I am using my white gesso from Craftology. I am working as the design team now, and they have sent me so many goodies, and I am so excited to try these on my projects. And for my tutorials, I'm absolutely loving it. I'm always excited when I get to work with new supplies, and yes, it opens up in space for me to experiment more, to explore more, and that is much more fun than what we think of crafting is. Now here I am applying good 1 coat of gesso on my base, and I think 1 coat of gesso will be enough here, but still I'll take a call when I am done with my complete coverage. If required, I can quickly give it a second coat and this will be done. So yeah, here I am done with this. Okay, this is done. Now I am going to let this dry completely so that we can move on to the next step. But here is a quick tip that please make sure that you clean all your brushes immediately. So I usually try to keep 2 jars of water with me, so that once I am done with my first step, then very quickly I can clean it up. Now with a napkin, I'm going to clean up my surface, and I'm just cleaning my table with a napkin. This is just to make sure that when I'm doing my decoupage work, my color does not smudges anywhere, and when I'm doing my decoupage work, I like my table to be really clean. Now here I have a beautiful decoupage napkin, and it has some really nice butterflies, and I'm going to use these. So I'm dabbing my normal round brush in the jar of water, and I'm going to trim this down. Okay, and with your this brush dabbing technique, removing your napkins becomes much more easier than we think of. So do try this technique. I'm sure you will love this. Now I'm thinking whether to use which one to use. I'll go ahead with this one only. So I'm not taking up any excessive paper. I'm trying to take as much design only I can, and I'm not going to have too much of white decoupage base tissue here. So that is actually going to make my work easier. If I have to work with the mediums, that will be directly on my base, not on my napkin. Okay, just removing the excessive paper. This is completely optional. I have seen many of the people those who are not very comfortable with removing all the white part. So if you are not comfortable, that's absolutely fine. Let me just keep this and see that how it looks. I think I can add one more. Let me take out this portion, or I should have. Okay, I'll take up this pink butterfly just to add a little more pinkish shade to my base. Be a little careful when you are doing the steering of your napkin, because this is really important. Okay, So here I'm done with my trimming of my napkin, and now I'll use my heat gun and very quickly I'll run it on my decoupage napkins. If you are using any decoupage paper, you really don't have to do this step. You can just do the fussy cutting work and you will be really good to go. Now removing the plies, and like I always say that if you use your heat gun, removing your plies become much more easier. So yeah. I'm almost done. So it's because of the coronavirus thing going everywhere around, like sorry, so like spending your time has become really difficult. Like, of course it feels that you can shoot at home because you are at home, but then with doing all the housework and then doing your videos and all, it becomes really difficult. Okay, so here I am done with my step of putting up my napkin. Like, I have decided that where exactly I'm going to locate my napkins. Now here I have my decoupage glue, and I'm going to quickly stick this on my base. So I'm taking up a flat brush so that it becomes easier for me. Now here, if you see this particular project, my base has not turned out to be in the pink the white color completely. That is because I did not want it to have a pure white base. Otherwise I could have done like good 2 coat of gesso. That would have actually helped me in getting the complete white base, but I wanted to give it a more of a rustic look because I'm planning to use some really amazing paints, chalk paints from Craftologies, and that's the reason I thought having a bit of rustic look will really help. Now I'm sticking my last napkin piece, and it's yeah, and now it's done, almost done. Now I'm going to let this dry completely and then we will be back. So my base has dried out completely and it's time to remove the excessive part. So I'm using a nail filer. You can use a sandpaper to remove the excessive part of your napkin. It's a very simple technique, and I'll repeat it again, that whenever you're removing the excessive napkins, just make sure that you are using your filer or your sandpaper from your napkin to your base. This is going to make sure that you don't ruin your base at all. This is one of the very important steps. Take your tool, your sandpaper or your filer, or whichever the tool you are taking to trim off your napkin. It should be from napkin surface to your base. And this looks really beautiful. I'm really happy with the way my gesso has worked on my base, and this is looking absolutely gorgeous. Now it's time to move on to the next step, and here I have my script stencil, and I'm going to use this with my DIY texture paste. Yes, my video where I have shared on how to make a DIY texture paste is already there on my channel. Do check that. That's a really interesting way of making your homemade DIY texture paste. Otherwise, you can also find out the links down below, where I mentioned the links on from where to buy these kind of modeling paste, and that will be also a very good option for all the upcoming artists out there. So I'm trying not to cover my butterfly as much as I can, and yeah, I think I'm almost done. As the surface area is small, this is really easy. I'm just trying to remove all the excessive paste from here. Yeah, and this is done. Wow, this looks absolutely amazing. I'll just remove all the excessive pastes from the sides, and this is so good to go. Now of course I need to dry this, and I am going to use my heat gun to dry this modeling paste. Be a little careful when you are using a heat gun. This is really heat, so you cannot, like while using, be a little careful. Do not run this directly on your hands. You might hurt yourself, so be a little careful here. Okay, so here I am done with my drying, and now it's time to seal my decoupage napkins. Why do we need to seal our napkins? Is because whenever we are using the different mediums, we definitely don't want our napkins to absorb those colors and shades and texture. So using a varnish is just going to make sure that everything has been sealed really well, and your napkin colors and designs are going to be as it is. So like if by chance any of the colors goes on the top of it and which you don't want it, you can quickly just clean it up with a wet wipe or a tissue paper, and you are good to go. Like your napkins are going to be as it is. Like it's not a complete 100% safety for your napkins, like they'll not absorb the color, but yeah, 90% is going to make sure that your napkin does not absorb any of the other medium's color on it. I'm just covering my napkin part. I'm not covering any other portion. Like I'm trying to avoid other areas, and I really want my texture work to have nice color which I'll be using later on. So I'm really excited to use those colors, and yeah, I'm really excited because they have, like, Crafterja has come up with some really nice colors and shades. So yes, of course. Now I'm almost done. This is such an interesting part. Like I don't know why, but I really love doing this one. This is just kind of giving a coat to my decoupage napkins, but I really love this step. You don't have to be very particular. Even if your varnish is going on the sides of your decoupage napkin, it's absolutely fine. It's absolutely fine to have it on the sides. Okay, now until this is drying, we need to work on another medium, and here I have this beautiful MDF piece which I want to use on my project, and now I need to cover this up with our gesso. So here again I will take up my flat brush. I don't want to open this too much, yeah, and now I'm going to cover this up with my white gesso. Why I'm doing a gesso? Because usually what happens is in the on the MDF and the like these kind of bases, they do not absorb the colors. Like they are already so dark, so they don't absorb the color, and having a white color gesso really helps them to absorb the colors whatever we are using. Like if you are using nice spray paints or chalk paints or any other mediums, they really make your work easier, and the colors what you're going to get is going to be so natural and so beautiful. And I think that's the beauty of using gesso. And I love the consistency. This is not very thick, so I don't really have to worry about the consistency. I don't need to add water, otherwise in like on few of my videos you must have already seen that I had to add water to it, and I think that's the good part, that here I don't have to add water. So here I am done with my coat of gesso. Now we'll let this dry completely and then we will be back. Now it's time to add some more shades, and here I have this beautiful blue metallic chalk paint, and I will just open the seal in front of you guys, and you can see this is such a beautiful shade. Now here on this red I want to do a bit of blue color, so I'm just rubbing it off with my paint brush. Now I'm not doing a complete cover here, like I'm not covering my complete project with the blue color, because I am going to add some more shade here and bit of color and brush up on the areas. And yeah, this is really good to go. Yes, this looks amazingly beautiful, and I really want to show you that how this metallic chalk paints look. So if you can see that this is blue here, if I turn it around it shines, and that is shining because of its metallic effect. So just imagine how beautiful this is going to look on your project. Okay, so here I am done with my blue shade. Now with the same paint brush I'm going to take up another shade, and for my another shade I have chosen this is the copper metallic chalk paint. I absolutely loved this shade. This is one of my favorite shade from their store. I love many other shades also, but this one is particularly my favorite. I'm so sorry if I'm being a bit partial, but I loved it. I absolutely loved it. Now with the paintbrush I'm just trying to cover it up and spread it as much as I can, and just a bit tinge of colors here and there, not too much of colors I want. So yeah, just a bit of color here and there, and this looks amazing. So I have used this color, this metallic shade, just to add a little contrast to my pink and blue. I did not want it to have too much of pink and blue on my project for sure. Okay, now this is done. This looks nice, and I think now I need to dry this out completely, and then we will be moving on to the next step. Okay, so it's time to move on to the next step, and here I have some of the beautiful bunch of flowers and embellishments, and I am thinking of using some really nice pink flowers. I don't know, because even in the pink they have sent me so many beautiful shades. I think I'll go with this one, and I want to add this sentiment in the center. So let me start with fixing up my one pieces at a time. So one portion and two portion, and these two portions I'm going to have my glue gun, and yes, I'll just try to hold it on a little up so that it has a proper depth. Just blow a little. Let me switch this off. I'm holding it up so that it dries out a little up and it has a good depth beneath. Maybe I can just hold it upside down. I'm not sure if this works. And yeah, I think this is looking good. Okay, so this is done, and now what I'm going to do is, let me first start sticking with my embellishment here. So I will be having 1, 2, 3 and 4 dots of my sentiment here. Now you must be thinking, oh, I have not done any color to it. So wait for it till end, guys. Wait for it till the last of the video to see what I do there. Okay, this looks good and I'm happy about it. Now with my paintbrush, I'm just going to turn this around and make sure that it spreads out well. And I just feel that this color is going well with my project. Okay, now I will be using my heat gun here, and this is to stick my wow, this looks good. Now I think I should add some more sentiments here and there. So let me have a stone here on the top, and trust me, like friends, these colors are looking absolutely amazing. I'm just so happy with the fact that the colors are working out so well, and you can already see that how shiny and beautiful these paints are looking. Now it's time to cover this up, and for sealing this up, like to have some nice shade on it, I have decided to use the same metallic shade. Let me tell you, this is a copper metallic shade, and I'm going to have my coverage on my complete MDF base. Of adding just a bit of tinge of shades here and there, the same copper shade. This is just to highlight few of the portions here and there, and on whichever areas I have not done the blue color, I'll add this copper metallic shade. Trust me girls, I'm not saying this because I am in the DT and I have to use this project, like I had to do this video, but I'm really loving these metallic chalk paints, and they are absolutely amazing. I'm sharing their links down, do check that, and you can place your orders directly. I'm absolutely loving it. Wow, this looks amazingly beautiful, and a bit of touch up, like some brush up work and touch up here and there, and this looks amazing. This looks so gorgeous and so beautiful. This has turned out really well. Now I need to use my varnish, but before that I need to use my heat gun to dry my project completely. And finally it's time to seal up my project, and I am so happy, I'm so excited, and I'm glad that I tried this project, because this is such a multi-purpose project that I can add up a magnet on the back and use this as a magnet decor piece. I can add a hook to this and use this for my hangings. I can add a nice rope on the back side so that these can be hanged beautifully anywhere on the areas, and it is going to work so well. So I really hope that you all enjoyed this tutorial, but please do make sure that on cameras I do just one coat of varnish, but at the back I do good 2-3 coats of varnishes every time. But 99% of my artwork, only if that is something which I am going to keep inside my cupboard, like something which has been used or made for that purpose, otherwise I use my good 2-3 coats of varnish. Do not miss out on that. Yes, with this my tutorial is done, and you can see that how amazingly and beautiful this looks. I really hope that you all enjoyed this tutorial. If you have any queries, please do comment below. I'll be more than happy to help you all. Thank you so much for watching. Take care. Bye bye.
À deux doigts de nos lèvres, de doigts si fins que j'ai presque pu le goûter, le bonheur à sculpter de son ciseau d'orfèvre, des souvenirs.